You guys want to hear something funny about my shirt really quick? I went to Vegas, obviously. I went to this big NFL store that they had. I am a Panthers fan. That might be a shock to some of you who have seen me rock Bills wear. Okay, I'm a Bills fan by proxy. My man is a huge Bills fan. He has been since he was a child. He's not a bandwagon fan like some of you. I'm sorry, I'm just kidding. I hope that nobody takes my humor seriously. Anyway, I saw this shirt there and it was one of the only affordable things and I was like, oh, that's cute. I'll get a little Panther shirt. But every time I wear it, it says welcome to Las Vegas, but it has a Panthers logo on it. And I always wonder if when people see me wear this shirt, if they think, does she not know that the Las Vegas team is the Raiders? I do know that, just so you know. This was a weird, odd design for a shirt, but I was like, oh my god, I got it in Vegas and it has my logo on it. Oh, let me get it. Anyway, I still love it. I just want people to know. That's the only reason that it says welcome to Las Vegas. They just probably throw any old logo on here to make people who like that team buy it. This was a very unnecessary tangent. Anyways, today I'm going to be telling you about my crochet least favorites. Hey babes! Welcome back to Moonbae Crochet. It is Brandy and today I am here to share my crochet least favorites with you. Last time I did my crochet favorites, so today I'm going to do my crochet least favorites and yeah, let's all be proud haters together. Go grab your drink, grab your snack, whatever it is that you want to partake in while we are talking this mess. And in case you are new here, my name is Brandy. I love to do crochet content on here, sharing patterns that I love, giving you guys gift ideas for certain holidays or special events, reading stories with you guys, and sometimes doing videos like today. Crocheting, chit-chatting, talking crafty stuff, whatever you want to call this category of video, that's what we're doing. And if any of that kind of content sounds interesting to you, I would love it if you would consider subscribing, sticking around. We have lots of fun here. And without further ado, let's hop right into my crochet least favorites. We're gonna go ahead and do the same category list as my last video, and if you didn't see my crochet favorites video, it is right here, so if you want to go check that out. But so first, of course, we're gonna start with the hot topic category, yarn, of course. And my number one least favorite yarn in the world is Burnout blanket. I did go on a little bit of a rant / tangent on Burnout blanket in my last video because I was talking about how Burnout baby blanket is one of my faves. But Burnout blanket can literally fall off the face of the earth. I wouldn't even know that it happened. I would, if I found out, I would be joyed that nobody has to go through that ever again. I know that there's so many people that like it, but I feel as though unless you are using a gigantic hook, like a 15 millimeter or something crazy, how are you using that yarn? How? It's so I don't even know. It's just so thick. It's so thick, which, yeah, maybe that is good for a blanket, but to me, it's the items that you get out of it aren't even soft because of how thick it is. It almost creates a stiff fabric, even though it might be soft to do this to, soft to the touch kind of. It's not squishy soft. It's just I don't know. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Burnout blanket is the bane of my existence. I have 2 skeins of it. Well, really a skein and a half, or maybe a skein and 3/4, because I bought it once thinking oh, I see so many people using Burnout blanket. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a try. I got it in this pumpkin-y orange kind of color, very perfect for the fall. But man, every time I use it, I'm straight up not having a good time. It's not good. I dislike it very much, and I'm mad that I bought it. I am. Next up on the list of yarns that I really don't like is Red Heart Super Saver. Now this might be blasphemy, okay, because I know that Red Heart Super Saver is 1, very affordable, 2, comes in a huge shade range, 3, I just feel like it's very accessible because not only do they stock it at places like Michael's, craft stores, but I know that they have it at my local Walmart as well. So I feel like it's just very accessible to people. And trust me, I'm not knocking you if you use it. I have quite a few skeins of it as well. But I feel as though once you use something like a Big Twist Value and then you compare it, because Big Twist Value is clearly a dupe for Red Heart Super Saver. I've said this before. I don't know if it's true, but to me, Big Twist is the dupe brand of yarn. But not dupe a knockoff. It's not cheaper by any means. Maybe in price, yes, but it's not bad quality. But I do feel as though Big Twist kind of goes out of their way to make their own version of very popular yarns. Does anybody else notice that? Regardless, I think that Big Twist Value is better than Red Heart Super Saver by miles. Miles. Mainly because Red Heart Super Saver is just rough. To me, like, if I had the choice of making a wearable, like a cardigan or something like that, out of Big Twist Value or Red Heart Super Saver, I would go with the Big Twist Value, like, no hesitation. Red Heart Super Saver, it's giving scratchy, you know? Just rough, you know? I don't enjoy using it for amigurumi, for anything really. I'll use it to make like small little things, like if I have to make, I don't know, crocheted eyes for a project or something like that. Like, I don't really care what it is if I'm making something that small, but if I have to like work with it for an extended period of time, my hands don't feel great. It just feels rough and scratchy. I don't feel like the items that you get out of it are very soft to the touch. Oy, the red heart gods are smiting me. I will say, like, if it's all that you can access as far as acrylics go, especially right now that, you know, Michaels has not quite yet acquired the Big Twist, even though they said that they will, you know, it's fine. It works. It works for whatever you need it to. To me, it's more about just the feeling of it. And if I get to be snobby for a little bit, for a little something, I'm going to pick the Big Twist always. And actually, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of times the Red Heart Super Saver is more expensive than the Big Twist value, but it might be because it has more yards in a skein, maybe only like 30 yards or something like that, but still more. Again, the shade range is incredible, I will give it that, but it's just not that fun to work with, really. Although I will also give them credit where it's due. It is very easy to find the middle pull because on the label it literally tells you it's right over there, and it's usually sticking out and you can just pull it. It's so easy. But the Big Twist value, even though it doesn't show you on the label, the middle pull usually is sticking out as well. So Red Heart Super Saver isn't really offering me anything that I can't get elsewhere. Another yarn that I'm really not that big of a fan of is Burnout Baby Velvet. I know this is a stark contrast because I love Burnout Baby Blanket, but Burnout Baby Velvet to me is too thin. For a velvet yarn, I need it to be more thick, and I feel like the Burnout Velvet on its own, I like that yarn. It wasn't on my list of faves, but I do like it. It's so nice and, like, you know, but it's velvet, so it is already sort of slippery on its own. So when you take that and then make it even thinner, it gets even more slippery. It gets even more hard to work with, and the items that you make don't really have a lot of structural integrity when you make it with such a thin, slippery yarn. So to me, Burnout Baby Velvet is not really something that I go for. I do have a few skeins of it that I thought were pretty. I bought them way back in the day, and now they just sit here and I really don't know what to do with them. Maybe I'll find a pattern where I can make some sort of like headband or scrunchie, something that's not really going to matter if it's not super, you know, structurally sound. But yeah, Burnout Baby Velvet it's a pass for me. I'll just stick with the regular velvet and call it a day. And the last yarn that we're going to hate on for the day is Karen 1 pound. Is that how you say it, by the way? Is it Karen? I always say that, but like it sounds like I'm saying the name Karen, but like Karan. I think it's Karen. Anyway, Karen 1 pound yarn. Ugh. That is one of the worst acrylics I have ever used. And I still have skeins of it to this day. I think I can name off the top of my head, like, I think I definitely have at least 4 skeins of it that are all partially used or mostly used. It is the bane of my existence, truly. Never have I ever. I know I was just talking all about how the Red Heart Super Saver is like rough and, you know, scratchy or whatever. Karen 1 pound is even more so. And it's like thick. It's like slightly thicker. It is a size 4. You know, I'm not going to go as far as to say it's a chunky weight yarn by any means, but it's thick for an acrylic. It's thick, it's rough, it's scratchy. I don't like it. And I think I definitely got all of those skeins that I have of it when I was a brand new crocheter. When I first started crocheting, you know, and you get so excited, you go to the yarn store, you don't know what's good, you don't do research, you just are like overwhelmed or overtaken by all the majesty that is Michaels or Joann's or whatever. And so I would go, and I would think I would go to Michaels, and I would just look, and I saw these huge skeins of Caron 1 pound, and I thought, oh my gosh, like I could make so much out of that compared to like, you know, what I could make if I got like smaller balls. So I got like a bunch of colors in that I loved, and oh my gosh, I'm still working on them to this day. It's been like a decade. Because now that I know what good yarn is, Caron 1 pound is disgusting. I hate it. I'm choking, oh my god. I've used it for amigurumi. They come out so stiff. Like they don't even want to respond like when you're stuffing them. Like they don't want to like mold to the shape of the stuffing. It's thick, it's stiff. I don't know how many times I can say this. It's not good. If I want a big ball of yarn, like a good value yarn, I'm either gonna get a Lion brand 1 pound, because the Lion brand acrylic is way nicer and softer than that Caron brand, or I'll get like the Big Twist pound of, I don't know, Big Twist Value pound, I think it's called, but it's literally just Big Twist Value, but in a larger skein. And obviously I love Big Twist Value, so that would work for me. But I do love Lion brand 1 pound, so that's a good alternative if you are thinking about getting a 1 pound ball of yarn. Don't get the Caron, please. Do yourself a favor. Just don't. I don't want you to go through that, bestie. Okay, next category of my crochet least faves is going to be the tools category. So the first contender up to bat is Susan Bates hooks. Now, when I was barely like starting to be like, oh dang, like my cheap Amazon hooks are starting to wear out, I think I need to get myself some good quality hooks. Why didn't I do research? I don't know. I went to Joann and I thought, oh my gosh, this is a good price. A whole set of Susan Bates hooks. I can't remember the price, but it did come with a lot of different sizes. They looked so like nice and sharp. They're beautiful. I bought them. Terrible, terrible mistake. First of all, the grip. It's not even like, if it's ergonomic, to be fair, please take this with a grain of salt. I don't really know what ergonomic is. I know that ergonomic means like it's better for like the health of your hands or whatever, but I don't know if they are considered ergonomic grips, but they are not soft at all. They're not made of silicone. They're like a hard grip. They're like made of plastic or something. So not the best as far as like holding goes. It's not comfortable, one. But two, I feel as though unless you are using a terribly thick yarn like a Burnout blanket, for example, the Susan Bates hooks are way too sharp that when you use them with like an acrylic or a cotton or something like thin like that, you're gonna have a hell of a time trying to work smoothly and efficiently and quickly like you're used to if you're using a Susan Bates hook, because they're too grabby. Like they don't want to release your stitches, in my personal experience at least. I do feel like they work okay for stuff like Burnout, you know, blanket, or even like chenille yarns, for example. I do sometimes pull out my Susan Bates hooks if I'm working with like really thick, soft yarn, because I feel like the sharpness of the hooks does grab the yarn very well. But personally, my Clover and More hooks do just like, they're not as sharp, but they work very well for grabbing that type of yarn too. So honestly, I don't pull out my Susan Bates hooks very much at all. I don't really at all. In fact, I don't even know where most of them are, but man, it's bad. And honestly, even though I'm saying that they are good for like the thicker yarn and stuff like that because they're so sharp, I have had an issue where I think it was my 5.5 millimeter, maybe. I think I was working with that terrible Burnout blanket, but I was working on a project and again, I don't know if it's called the shank, but like the longer, like the metal part of the hook broke off of the plastic grip. Like it just broke. I was like, I've never had that happen ever. Like I've had hooks come out of their ergonomic grips before, but like the metal part and the plastic part were just kind of like connected like this. It's not like the metal went all the way in to the plastic. And I couldn't believe that either that yarn was so terrible and thick and disgusting that it broke, or, you know, the hook was just bad quality. I don't know what it is, but I'm not a fan. Not a fan of the Susan Bates hooks whatsoever. They are not good. I said what I said. Next tool that I'm not a huge fan of, and to be fair, take this one with a grain of salt too, because I actually have never used this one, but they just look bad to me. The light up crochet hooks. I know that they can be useful if you are working with like a very dark colored yarn. Maybe you don't have the best lighting in your home. I am there right now. Okay. I don't have great lighting in my apartment. It's not the best, but I still don't think I could use a light up crochet hook. The grip that comes on them, it looks way too thick, and it's just like, I don't know how I could work with something like that really. I mean, the one that I'm thinking of specifically, I think I saw it on Instagram or something. It came with the base, like the light up base, and then you can like screw in any tip for it so that you can, be using a 6mm, or you could be using a 3mm, whatever you need. You screw that, hook head on, and then you work with it that way. You turn on the little light. To me, I think just it's a great idea in theory, but the grip situation, to me, it looks terrible. I just know that I would be uncomfortable using it. Not to mention some of the lights that come in these these light up crochet hooks is so bright. Like, yeah, I know I need to be able to see because these stitches, like, it's like a dark color yarn or something like that. But at the end of the day, what good is this doing me if like I'm staring and it's like blinding me, I don't know. Never used one. Have you ever used a light up crochet hook? And if you have, please let me know your experience. I want to know if I am just, talking out of my ass, or if like I'm being like, my points are valid, because to me it doesn't look like something that would work well with my style, but hey, maybe they work for some people. Let me know. And lastly, in my tools category, I have plastic yarn needles. Yes, they exist, and you know what, if I'm not mistaken, they might be Susan Bates brand as well. Maybe I'm making that up, so sorry, Susan Bates. I don't mean to be rude or dogging on you too much, but my goodness, I have used these terrible little blue yarn needles before. Pointless. They are pointless. Unless you're like, I don't know, just using them for like acrylic yarn and like it's like a flat piece or whatever. But I find that most of the time that I have to like sew or whatever, it's because I'm sewing an amigurumi together. And when the yarn needle is going through that many like layers and that much stuffing, the plastic yarn needles, they're pointless. They're not holding up against all of that. You need the metal ones because the plastic ones, I've had them bend. They're just not strong enough, honestly. If it's all that you can get your hands on, by all means, Godspeed, okay? But to me, since I am privileged enough to have the choice, I will never use plastic yarn needles ever. The metal ones are just so much better. And I mean, this is coming from somebody who hates sewing in general. I hate weaving in ends. I hate sewing together amigurumi. I just can't stand sewing. I really can't. But the plastic yarn needles, to me, I'm like, if that's all I had, none of my projects would get their ends weaved in. None of my amigurumi would get assembled. Nothing. I can't with the plastic yarn needles. They're so bad. They're so bad. Hey y'all, it's Editing Brandy here. Completely forgot to mention, I don't know how I just skipped over it because it was listed, but another one of my least favorite crochet tools is stitch markers, like actual stitch markers that are made for that, the little clip looking ones. I hate them. I think that they're so pointless, and I feel like they always end up making wherever you stuck them in look like the stitch is kind of pulled out a little bit. What I opt to do instead is to just cut a tiny piece of like whatever acrylic yarn, whatever yarn is nearby. I cut a small piece of thin-ish yarn to stick through the stitch that I need to mark, and I use that as my stitch marker. And then when I'm done, pull it out. You can't even tell that it was there. I love it. Stitch markers are a no-go for me. Nope. Okay, now we got our next fun category, which is projects that I don't like. The first one, say it with me, kids. I know if you've been here for a while, you know exactly what I'm gonna say here. Leggy frogs. They're just not my cup of tea. They're just strange looking. I don't think that they're cute at all. But hey, I know a lot of people think that like, the crocheted cows, with like the fruit or whatever, or like the crocheted turtles that I love so much. I know that a lot of people think that those are so overplayed and boring. And hey, I get it. Personally, I don't agree, but you know, that's why we're all allowed to have different opinions here. And my opinion is that leggy frogs are creepy and ugly, and they might be quick makes, and maybe that's why so many people make them, which is cool. I love being able to like make a project that is quick and you can make a bunch of them in a short amount of time, but personally, I'll never make a leggy frog. They're just ew. I just don't like them. Okay, next project that I really cannot stand are these cat butt coasters. Like, to me, it's just disgusting. And not just that, but I just think cat butts in general, like, I know that cats walk around with their tails up and their butts are showing all the time. I get it, right? It's like, haha, funny, like I can see your butt, whatever. Me personally, I'm like, grow up. The coasters, in my opinion, are just gross and disgusting and I don't like them. But like and listen, please do not hear what I'm not saying, okay? I'm not saying that like I am judging these people by any means. I'm not. I just don't understand, really. I would never do something like this, but like I crochet loaf cats and stuff, and I have had people request like, hey, that's a cute loaf cat, but like, can you add a little butt on the back? I'm like, why do you want that? Like, I don't know. Everybody's entitled to whatever they want. To me, I'm like, it ruins it. Personally, I would never want a crocheted cat in my vicinity that has a butt. Like, just ew. I don't know. It's just ew to me. I don't know. Well, what do you guys think? Am I being dramatic? Because I just think it's gross. Next up, things that I'm not really a fan of in the project space. Steering wheel covers. Now, in theory, like, are they cute? Yes. I think that they're cute. Like, they could be, like, fun to look at. Maybe if it's on a car that sits in the garage and never gets used. Because steering wheels are so freaking disgusting. Do you guys know that? There's probably more germs on your steering wheel than there are like germs on your phone that you're watching this on. And so imagine having a crocheted cover on the steering wheel, right? Can you imagine sticking your grimy hands on that every single day, driving around with it? Get much more just dirt and grime that would accumulate rather than just like your steering wheel. And then it's like, if you want to clean your steering wheel, you got to take it off. It's just ew. I don't know. I feel like it would get dirty really fast. You know, everybody thinks like, no, I wash my hands all the time. Like, no, I'm clean. No, but then the second you do something like that, you'll see just how grimy your hands can get throughout the day. Cause no, ew. I can't imagine. Like, even if I wash my hands, getting into my car to come home and touching a steering wheel that has a crocheted cover on it, just no. Nope. Next up, things I'm not really a fan of in the project space. Human amigurumi. Now, don't get me wrong. When they're done correctly, I like it when other people do them. I think that they are cute. I personally just don't like to make them. I don't like things that are fussy. I don't want to be making something that has fingers and toes. I don't want to be making a whole cap of hair, you know? Like, my best friend actually has this little collection of like amigurumi dolls that she's made, and they are so gorgeous and beautiful, and they are like humans. And they're cute, but I'm like, ugh. I could never, I don't think. I don't have the patience for stuff like that. I'm very much like I want to make chunky, cutesy animals. Something that's not going to take me 8 years to make. I don't know. And again, maybe some people are faster than me. Maybe some people can make them quicker. But personally, I'm not a fan of human amigurumi. I don't know how many of you here watch my vlogs that I kind of throw up every week, when I can at least. But there was a point in time where for like 3 vlogs in a row, so that's 3 weeks, I was struggling to make a Goku for a customer order. I just was not having a good time. Like, and he came out like very cute. Like, he was good. It was a decent pattern, but man, I was just not having fun. I don't really like making people. So I don't know. That's just a personal thing for me. I prefer animals. I prefer cutesy, chunky things. I don't like dainty, fussy things. And lastly, another one that I dislike personally, but not because it's ugly or not because it's bad, but it's because I just can't. I don't have the patience. Tapestry crochet. Now, tapestry crochet to me is like, when I see other people do it, I'm like, incredible, amazed, gorgeous, especially when they can do it where it's like beautiful on the front and then you flip it around and it's just the opposite, like the inverted, that's insane. That's crazy. If people who can do that are like wow, your skills, your patience, unmatched. Personally, me, I can't with all the color changes. I can't. Like, even amigurumi that take color changes is like a lot for me sometimes. So I cannot imagine making a huge tapestry where I'm having to change the color constantly. That would drive me bananas. I couldn't do it personally, but Godspeed to you if you can, because they are gorgeous, I will say. Just not for me. And lastly, my miscellaneous category for crochet least faves. First thing here is tension rings. I actually didn't even know that this was a thing until I received them as a like tiny gift one year. But I guess they're these rings that you wear while you're crocheting and you kind of like feed the yarn through them. And I guess they're supposed to like help you with your tension, but I never used them. I already have a hard enough time, like if I need to put on my compression gloves while I'm crocheting, like I can't really crochet with like accessories on my hands. I don't wear rings just like in general. I don't even wear bracelets or anything. Like I have my watch and that's it. But I've never used it, so please correct me if I'm wrong. But does it actually help you with your tension, or do you feel like it just gets in the way? Because to me, it would just get in the way. I just, and I don't even know, like, if there's, because I know that there's people and they crochet, but they have one of their fingers out all the time. And actually, not just some people. I feel like the majority of people I see crocheting online, they hold their yarn like that. It's like, how do you guys do that? You're sticking one finger out. Is your finger not, like, killing you by the end of the day? I hold my yarn, like, all like this, and I keep my like yarn through here so I can kind of like yarn over quickly. I don't even know if I'm doing a good job explaining this, but I don't know how these people, crochet like this. I don't know if I'm making sense at all, but I'm wondering if you're wearing one of those tension rings, is that a requirement? Do you have to have one of your fingers sticking out and using them? Please, somebody that's used a tension ring, let me know if I'm just spouting off about nothing, but I've never used one. To me, I'm like, I don't know. Sometimes they come in cute designs, but I personally never used one. I don't think I ever could. And lastly, in my miscellaneous category for crochet least faves, and this one actually isn't like a physical or tangible thing, it's more of a philosophical, an idea, and it is gatekeeping within the crochet community. I think that you are allowed to gatekeep if you're just showing off a project that you designed yourself and you're proud of it and you just want to show people, like, no, people are not entitled to that pattern, and people are not entitled to like know how you did it, because especially if you didn't write down a pattern as you were doing it, if you just freehanded something and you're not out here selling patterns and you don't do that kind of thing, you don't have to tell anybody how you made that. Like, that's fine. But if you made something using a pattern, but you're just like, oh, hey, like, look at this cute bunny that I made, da 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 da. And I know that I got this from the Stitch Studio CA. Like, I know that I purchased the pattern from them, but somebody comments on my video and is like, oh my gosh, that is such a cute bunny. Like, do you have a pattern? Do you make a pattern? Blah, blah, blah. Like, why on earth would I be like, oh, no, there's no pattern. I don't, like, hello? Share where you got the pattern, because I feel like it not only hurts like your credibility, I don't know if you care about that, but it hurts the small business, like where you got the pattern from. Why would you not want to help them get more sales? And then there's also things where nobody owns stitches, right? Like, I feel like it's so ridiculous for a crochet artist to get mad at somebody and say like, oh, you stole my pattern, or you ripped off my design, or whatever, if what they made looks very simple and then somebody else just recreates it, not using a pattern, not, doing anything, but they're like, oh, I really like that item. And especially if this person isn't sharing their pattern or doesn't have a pattern for the item, I'm like, well, I think I could make one of those. And then I go and make my own and it looks very similar to what you made. That's the name of the game here, bud. I'm so sorry, but you don't own crochet stitches. You don't own ideas, There's no real like copyrights and stuff like that when it comes to this kind of thing. Obviously, if you have a pattern behind a paywall and it's a very intricate pattern and there's like probably no way that somebody could recreate it without making your pattern, that's one thing. And especially if you see them distributing your pattern all over the place and like, whatever, doing crazy things like that, that is a reason to get mad. But there's no reason to get upset over people who make something that's similar to you, because you don't own ideas. You don't own these stitches. This is a community here. Like, we should all just be cool with people making whatever they want to make. regardless of what they're doing with it, as long as they are not straight up stealing from you, if they're taking inspiration from you, it happens. It happens. If you really wanted to keep this idea to yourself and not have anybody see it or even attempt to make it, don't share it online. I just don't like gatekeeping whatsoever. I just don't think it's productive. I think it hurts other people. Again, like I said, if you make something and you don't want to share it or you didn't make a pattern, like perfectly fine, whatever. But when it comes down to like hurting small businesses or going and getting angry at other people claiming that they're stealing your ideas or whatever, it's just not productive. So I don't like it. And with all that being said, those are my least favorites in crochet. So I hope you guys enjoyed. What are your least favorite things in the crochet crafty space? Please let me know. If you enjoyed this video, I would so appreciate you giving it a like. And I would like to thank you all so much for being here as always. I so appreciate you. I hope everybody has an amazing rest of your day, week, month, night, whatever you're having. Please enjoy yourself. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye.